They can't keep getting away with this. So I have to make this video. So hopefully the UFC sees this video and understands that they can't keep doing this to us. We are UFC fans, MMA fans in general, but I like the UFC above all else. And I'm a very, very loyal fan to the UFC. I watch every single card. And they know I'm going to watch every single card. And that's why they're taking these liberties. Okay? I stay up as a UK UFC fan. I stay up until the early hours of the morning every single weekend to watch their cards, and they know I'm going to be there. And the cards they have been putting on recently have been absolutely terrible across the board. I don't feel like we've had a stacked card this year, and there's been many cards this year. And you know what I'm starting to notice? I'm looking at this weekend's card, Lemos versus Andrade, and they've mentally tortured me into a point where I'm now thinking to myself, you know, this actually isn't that bad. Clay Guida's on it. I'm actually starting to get this kind of syndrome when I look at UFC cards because of the terrible cards we have had in the past. My standards for what a UFC card should be have naturally lowered. And now I'm like thankful for like a really average card, which is this weekend. And this weekend's card is terrible. I'm just going to run you through some of the cards that we've had over the past couple of weeks. And we're going to start with Luque versus Muhammad, which just took place, okay? Vicente Luque Bilal Muhammad 2 as a main event of a fight night. Amazing. Amazing as the main event of a fight night. But the UFC, after every pay-per-view card, I feel like, say the same phrase over and over and over again. And that phrase is, this is the best year we've ever had. We're doing the best we've ever done. You know what I mean? The numbers that we're getting are through the roof. We've never seen numbers like these. So why every weekend are the cards getting worse and worse? If the sport is getting so much better, as you constantly seem to tell us after every pay-per-view card, why is the product getting worse and worse for UFC fans every single weekend? Why? Look at the Luque versus Muhammad card. This wasn't spoken about enough. Luque versus Muhammad. Acceptable main event of a fight night. I don't mind it at all. Give them the spotlight. All good. It didn't deliver the way we wanted the fight to deliver, but either way, it was a decent scrap. It was a decent booking in the first place. High-ranked welterweight contenders. I'm okay with that. The co-main events. I remember a time as a UFC fan, and I don't know if anyone else remembers this either, but I remember a time as a UFC fan where it used to be ranked main events, ranked co-main events, and then ranked openers of main cards. Luque versus Muhammad 2. Justifiable. Co-main event. Cal Bahalo versus Gaethje Omar Gadziev. They're making their debuts. And they're in the co-main event of a fight night of the biggest fight promotion on earth that's doing the best it's ever done. We're doing the best we've ever done. That's why our cards are absolute dog shit every weekend. I'm going to get to Lemos and Andrade this weekend. Feature fight, Miguel Beza, Andre Fialho. That's okay. Unranked, but okay. I don't mind the matchup. And this is what they're doing to my brain. I'm being thankful for fights that arguably should be on prelims. Andre Fialho came into the UFC in his debut. He lost. Feature fight of a fight night card. In his next fight, we go down the card even more. Mera Bueno Silva versus Yanan Wu. Oh my God. An amazing fight. Pat Sabatini, TJ Laramie. Oh, what's next? Munir Lazzez, Andre Lusa on the main card. It's not good. This is not acceptable anymore. And then we go to this weekend's card, and this is where my problems do start. Lemos versus Andrade is not a main event of a fight night. I'm losing it here. It's 2022. Clay Guida versus Claudio Puelles is not a co-main event. It's not. It's not a co-main event. And I'm like, well, at least there's Lando versus Charles Jourdain. Like, that's what they've got me going. They've got me thinking that to myself right now. Oh, well, Lando versus Jourdain's pretty good, right, guys? That's what they've got me like right now. I'm like in a state of hysteria over these UFC cards. And I go, well, at least Font versus Vera's going to be good, while I beam the Tapology light into my face. So I go to Font versus Vera's card, and I see the co-main event. Jake Collier versus Andre Arlovski. Font versus Vera is a good main event. It's a really good main event. Jake Collier, Andre Arlovski is the co-main. Then the big feature fight. Darren Elkins, Tristan Connolly. These people aren't ranked. And then my mind, which has been tortured by the UFC, makes me go, well, at least GM3's on the card, right, guys? At least there's GM3. Like, I'm losing my mind here. And I'm thinking, it's not even that bad of a card, actually, when you think about it. Like, where are the ranked fighters on fight cards? I feel like every ranked fighter over the past couple of years has been fighting once a year. Twice a year. Is it because they're getting paid a bit more and they don't need to fight as much anymore? Maybe we should lower fighter pay, in all honesty. Let's get them hungry again. Let's get them fighting to eat. You know what I mean? Like, let's have them starving and they need a fight. Like, they're just desperately begging at the UFC PI. Just give me someone. I beg of you. I've got kids, Like, I feel like we need to start lowering fighter pay, if anything. And I'm even looking at stuff like they're posting stuff about UFC 274, which is coming up soon with Oliveira versus Gaethje. And they're saying absolutely stacked. Donald Cerrone, Joe Lozon's on the main card. OSP Shogun Hua 2 is on the main card of a pay-per-view. It's 2022. The co-main event of the prelims is Macy Chiasson versus Norma Jamont. Like, I can't accept this for much longer. And then there's always a part of my brain which says to me, don't worry, it will be okay next month. And it's not okay next month because I go to next month and I start looking at the future cards that are ahead. Blachowicz versus Rakic is 3 weeks away. 3.5 weeks away. Blachowicz versus Rakic in May. The co-main event, this is actually not bad. It's got 10 fights on the card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 on the main card, 5 on the prelims. It's in 5 weeks. They can't add anything else. 10 fights. If any of them fall out, there's 9 fights. 5 on the main card, 4 on the prelims. That's barely even eligible to be considered a fight card. And then I go, oh, well, like, maybe they're just buying themselves some time to come back in 6 or 5 weeks' time with an amazing card. Holm versus Vieira as a main event. 10 fights on that card. It's 4 weeks away. 21st of May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights on the card. 10. If one of them falls out, there's 9. If 2 fall out, do I need to continue the basic mathematics here? So I'm like, well, like, give them some time. Maybe in like 8 weeks, they're going to have a massive card to go on. June 18th is 8 weeks away. It doesn't have a main event. There's no main event booked in 8 weeks. Where's the main events? Where's the main events? I'm thinking of the lamb sauce meme with Gordon Ramsay there. Sorry as I said that. But either way, my anger still is coursing through my veins here. As distracted by Gordon Ramsay memes as I may be. 8 weeks away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights on the card. No main event yet. No co-main event either. 9 weeks away. Elliott versus Albazi. UFC fight night. That's not the main event, by the way. This is looking like a good fight night. Where's the main event? Surely we should know these things. And I'm not just angry. Listen, I understand some fight camps are around 8 weeks. I get it. Sometimes they need 8 weeks to train. And it takes 8 weeks to put on a fight. So maybe we're going to get those announcements over this week and the next. Maybe. And maybe they're going to be amazing. But I am annoyed by it. Because when I see fights get announced, I see Strickland Plaheva in the middle of fucking July. We've got cards coming up in 3 weeks that don't have anything. Don't worry, guys. We've got 5 months from now sorted. Why? Why are you focusing on them? Like I see, Dricus du Plessis, maybe he'll get a fight rebooked with Andre Muniz, and it'll be added to the card in 2 weeks' time. He's ready for a fight right now, and they'll say some bullshit like, oh, well, we've just put Dricus du Plessis on the main card of UFC 276 in the middle of July. Don't worry, guys, we've got it covered. He's ready to fight now. Why must he now re-enter a 12-week training camp? What's going on? Where's Aldo Cruz? I thought that was pretty self-explanatory. Aldo, he's ready to fight. He wants to fight. Cruz, he's ready to fight. He wants to fight. Make it. Put it on a card. Like there's all these fights that are just ready to happen. And they're like, no, let's not do that. Let's wait it out a little bit. Where are these fights? There's so many top contenders. I mean, let me look at the rankings right now. These and everyone talks about fighters don't get paid enough. They sure fucking act like they do. They got half the fucking year off. They ain't doing anything. Where's Holloway? I get it. He's waiting for the shot. Why is Ortega Yair not booked? That was apparently booked. It's not booked now. Why is it not booked now? Cater, Allen, let's go. Let's get going here. Earn a title shot. Do you not want one? Zabit was supposed to come back at the start of the year. Where is he? His coach posted something at the start of this year or the end of last year saying, he's back. No, he isn't. At this rate, he'll be back in October in Abu Dhabi. Josh Emmett. What's going on? You know? I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Makhachev Dariush, I thought that was being booked again. It's not. It's just not. We're just not doing it now. Gregor Gillespie. Oh, Gregor Gillespie. You are number 8 in the world. You get a fucking move on immediately. Stop fishing and start looking for a fucking fight instead. Okay? Gregor Gillespie. If it ain't Tony Ferguson, he ain't fighting, guys. That's Gregor Gillespie's fucking mindset, it seems like, over the past couple of fucking years. Leon Edwards just sitting out. Like, I get it, he's earned a title shot, but still sitting out. Covington wasted his whole prime. Just sitting around. Not doing anything. He fights Woodley, title shot, and then he sits around until the Masvidal one, and now he's going to sit around for a bit longer again. Wonder Boy doing nothing. Brady's going to be out for ages as well, I reckon. Where's Chiesa? You got subbed by Luque. You took 0 damage. Get back in there. Make some money for yourself. Like, really, what's going on here? Glover and Yuri, like, that's taken a year to get done, it feels like, at this point. Everything's just taking ages. And Garnu's out for a year. And Stipe's just chilling. He's just chilling. No activity, just chilling. Stipe's chilling, guys. We'll ignore him for a bit. Maybe we'll do him versus Jones in July, but who fucking knows? Maybe we won't do that instead. You have, like, some fighters that are in there every 2 months, and then another half of fighters that you just won't see all year. And they'll be back next year, guys. And it's just getting a bit too much now. Because the pay-per-views are being limited and they're getting worse and worse when I look at them. We've just lost Whittaker Vettori. I'm going to do a video on that, but we've just lost Whittaker Vettori. Whittaker's out. So who's going to fill in there? Now that card's looking bad. The prelims of pay-per-views are trash. It's like they're just chucking in 3 decent fights at the top of the pay-per-view. And they're like, accept it, be grateful. I don't know anymore, man. This sport is really starting to get to me. There's just so many people just sitting on their ass. Where is Poirier Diaz? Do you not want money? That could have happened by now. Where is Poirier Diaz? Poirier wants it. He's wanted it for months. Diaz wants it. He's wanted it for months. You want it, apparently. And then we get an interview from Dana White on Pat McAfee's show. Yeah, we're not interested in that one. Oh, so it wasn't, Nate. Oh, so it wasn't Poirier. You're just no longer interested in that matchup. That would make our fans happy. We can't possibly do that. Well, let's just sit around and do nothing. Let's just sit around and do nothing. And have everyone just sit around and do fucking nothing. We got guys asking the UFC to release them so they can be active. What's going on? I mean, really. I feel like champions over the past 3 years of this sport are more active than their contenders. And that's not an over-exaggeration. That's true. Champions are genuinely more active than their contenders. It should be the other way around. The contenders are sitting around doing nothing and getting title shots like Covington. He fights Usman the first time. Usman then goes on to fight Masvidal, then Burns, then Masvidal again. And in that time, Covington's fought Woodley. And that's it. And then we do Covington Usman too. At the end of it. Usman fights Masvidal the first time. He then fights Burns. Masvidal's still done nothing as a contender. He somehow gets a rematch. Oh, there you go. Pad the legacy of him even more. And then the active guys that are coming up putting in work don't get their share. They don't get their shots at the belt. They've got to earn it. Justin Gaethje fights one person as a contender. One person. Michael Chandler. One guy. Coming off a loss to Oliveira. Fair play. And he's back in line for a title shot. You've got your one win, contender. Time to get a title shot because you're a big enough name. Meanwhile, your Olive's out there doing all the hard lifting. The heavy lifting. Whatever it is. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. It's so annoying to me. What are you doing, Paulo Costa? What is the UFC doing with him? He's on his Twitter like begging for matchups a couple of weeks ago. And they're just not making matchups. What's going on? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's every weekend now. It used to be main event, top ranked fight. Co-main event, good ranked fight. Opener of the main card, low ranked fight, but still in the top 15. And now it's just like main event, okay fight that's somewhat ranked. Deal with the contender series sewage on the rest of the fucking card. In what world, if the sport is getting better and better every year, are 2 contender series fighters co-main eventing a fight night, making their debut in the company? In what world does that make sense? This sport's dying. And that's another video I'm going to have to get out my fucking system later this week because I just can't take it anymore. The sport's doing better than ever. We got 2 guys making their debut in the co-main event. That makes sense. See you later. This is why I haven't been really uploading videos too much recently, because nothing's going on. Thank God Jake Paul called out Bisping, or what the fuck else would I post this week? Fix it, UFC. You're being paid by ESPN, I get it. You're taking the foot off the pedal. We're getting paid 500k. We don't need to put on good pay-per-views. The sport's going to die. I'm honestly not above the conspiracy theory, which is often just delayed truth if we're honest with ourselves. I'm not above the idea that ESPN and Disney, those soy boys, have brought this sport that we loved so much, and they're actually trying to destroy it. I'm not above that idea. Knowing what's going on in the world, real masculine sport of cage fighting, I'm really not above the idea that they have genuinely bought out this sport so they can run it into the fucking ground. What the fuck is going on? Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip, I'll see you later. Goodbye.